All right, here's another great story from my automotive industry experience. So at the point I took this job, I'd only ever worked at another transmission shop for a mom and pop, making about $10 an hour, and a rental yard making about $10 an hour. And I took a job for what's called Dale's Transmissions. And I think if I recall correctly, I was making about $15 or $18 an hour, which seems like crap now, but at the time it was pretty good. And Dale's Transmission's no longer around. But when I hired on there, I hired on with my foreman. The lead tech there was named Aaron, and he is and it was and still is first rate, top level driveline mechanic. And I learned most of what I know about transmissions and drivelines from Aaron and him teaching me all the little tricks of the trade. Things like how to adjust a band with a quarter-inch Allen wrench on a 727. All these little things that you don't learn in school, you learn on the floor that save you time and make you smarter and show you different ways to look at things. It's really cool working with Aaron. Manager there was really cool. He'd buy lunch all the time. Chuck was his name, and we made a great team. The owner's a little eccentric. He's an old dude. Went to Rensselaer Engineering College named Dale, and he's a little off his rocker, but we all loved him. He'd spend a month every year traveling the world to some foreign country. He'd come back and show us all the pictures he took. It was really enlightening to see how other things, same things we do are done in other countries. Changing transmissions out, changing wheel bearings. You know, they do it much differently in Guatemala. Anywho, second year I worked there. The day after Thanksgiving, he had us working the day after Thanksgiving, the Friday after Thanksgiving. My manager, Chuck, comes in and can't log into his computer or something to that effect. Dale basically comes out and says, "What, you didn't check your email? You don't work here anymore." Fired him on Thanksgiving Day. He didn't check his email on Thanksgiving Day because he's not a robot. He has a family. Figured he'd come back into work. Dale fired him because this other guy applied for his job, right? This other guy's name is Rob No. Rob No's father owns a successful towing business in Chico, or did, and he could take a job based on his name because he comes from a good family. Everybody knows those people are good people. Well, not Rob. So almost immediately, the workload in the shop goes up. There's all sorts of more work coming through the shop. Rob has all sorts of social connections. He's in baseball, soccer, works for the card people, the Chico area recreation district. So he has all these contacts. He starts bringing all this extra work through the shop. We're all busier. We're all making more money. So it would seem. About a year and a half, 2 years of that go by, and Aaron and Rob are talking about buying the shop from Dale. And a bunch of people have tried to buy the shop from Dale. Dale's always ended up with the shop back. He's one of those prudent businessmen. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to finance stuff out so that you never actually can pay for it, and he ends up with it back plus a big windfall. Anyway, my friend Aaron, the foreman that I've been working with, smart dude, logical, fixes cars, fixes drivelines for a living. He does a background check on Rob. Just, costs $100 or something like that. As a safety measure for himself before going into business with the guy, he does a background check. Come to find out, Rob has been involved in a lot of fraud. And we already knew, Rob throws a lot of money around, tips the barmaids $100 bills and all this other stuff. I'm not making enough money to pay my bills at this point, and I'm ready to quit. So I told the boss as much. Hey man, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm out of here. I'm not going to sit here making $12 an hour, struggling to pay my bills while he's tipping the barmaids $100 bills. Something's a little off here. We're doing all the work. I'm not making enough money. Rob's got enough money to tip his barmaid $100 every night because he's not getting any poontang. Something's off. And because I'm not making what you're required to pay me, which is double minimum wage to have my tools at work, I'm going to go ahead and roll my tools home so I can do work at home and hopefully make my bills. He didn't like that much. A couple days later, he laid me off. So I tried to clue him in. Rob's making too much money here. Rob's making too much out of this situation. I'm not taking home enough. And it ended up terminating my employment over it. But I stayed friends with Aaron because when there's a lot to learn from a guy, you tend to keep him around. Oh, 6 to 8 months later, he's trying to buy this place with Rob and does a background check and finds all this fraud. And so they start looking into the records of the business, and there's a reason that they haven't made any money. There's a reason they couldn't give me any raise. Rob has taken every cash job that comes in the shop, charged it on a credit card that he stole from his last job. He pockets the cash. And 130 jobs or 150 jobs or some ungodly number of jobs that came through the shop. The majority of the jobs that came through the shop in a year, because it's a transmission shop, the jobs take a week, they're big jobs. The majority of them were all charged to the same stolen credit card by Rob. He would make a deal for whatever they could pay in cash. If they could pay $800 for a $3,000 job, he put that $800 in his pocket, swipe his card, fix their car on his card, his stolen card, and keep their money. They caught him. Okay, they caught him. He, I think, did about 7 years for fraud. The last time I saw him, this is the kicker. I drove around the block 3 times to verify this was him, and it's all within his personality. I guarantee this was him. Last time I saw him, he was standing in front of the 7-Eleven in downtown Chico. Full 3-piece suit, tuxedo, with tails and everything. He's got a brown paper grocery bag. And he's double fisting French fries into his mouth because he knows he's going to prison. Did I ever get an apology? Didn't expect one. That's how the industry works.